Ladies and gentlemen, it's an honor to be with you today. This has been an incredible conference. I've certainly enjoyed my time here. I hope you have as well. The turnout has been phenomenal, and we've been well served. I hope you all got a chance to be to the luncheon and listen to our astronaut friend. Randy was incredible. I really enjoyed that. It was funny. I had a chance to have dinner with him last night, and I was talking to him about his 5 months in space, and not every day you get to talk to someone who's lived on the International Space Station. And he was talking to me about his children, and he has an adopted son who's 12 years old, and then a daughter who is 8 years old. And I asked him, I said, "Does your daughter think you're as cool as my kids think you are?" Because every kid wants to be an astronaut, right? And here I was having my opportunity to talk to one, and he said, it's a funny story how kids relate to their parents. He said, "My daughter came home a couple years ago. She was sixth grade. She was 6 years old. She was in first grade. And she said, 'Dad, why can't you have a cool job like a firefighter or a policeman?'" And so I think it goes without saying that none of our kids think we have cool jobs, even when our job is that of an astronaut. But I also want to thank our partners from Mexico. The governor hasn't stopped speaking about the trip to Mexico, Dr. Nelson, that he took with you and so many of our partners, and the opportunities to increase our economic partnerships with Mexico right now are very significant. Having lived in Mexico for 2 years, that was music to my ears, and I became most excited to learn of the opportunities that are presenting themselves there. And so thank you so much to our Mexican counterparts for the great work that you're doing. I think this is important. As we know, here in Utah, economic development is absolutely critical, and international trade is fueling so much of the growth that we have here. We had an opportunity to hear from Derek Miller last night. As you know, Derek Miller was the head of the World Trade Center Utah until just a few days ago, a couple weeks ago, when he became the head of the Salt Lake City Chamber of Commerce, which is a really big deal. But he was talking about how many jobs are influenced by international trade or have been created because of international trade here in the state of Utah. And it's a huge number, but it pales in comparison, as he mentioned, to those jobs that are impacted by energy, which is literally every job in the state. We have, of course, the direct jobs, but without energy, without electricity, without the things that all of you are responsible for, none of our jobs would be possible. And I think it's important to remember that, and that's part of what I wanted to share with you today. I've been very fortunate. As many of you know, I grew up in a small town in rural Utah, the town of Fairview. And I learned from a very early age, my parents emphasized education to enable me to reach my potential, my siblings. My parents did not have college degrees, but they believed that college degrees were important for all of us, and that I would have a choice to come back home, but through that education, a world of opportunities would be open to me. Now, I grew up in a town where most of the people, most of my friends' parents, their dads specifically, worked in coal mines. It was very much a coal town. The coal mines were in Emory and Carbon County, but Fairview is the gateway to Skyline Drive, and many people that worked at the power plants and in the coal mines were my neighbors, and still are. And so I had a deep appreciation for energy and where our power came from. Unfortunately, that is something that has been lost on many generations as we've become a more urban society. People forget where those things come from. I had a few years ago, I was talking about rural Utah, and I had a legislator who will remain anonymous for his own safety, came to me and said, "Why should I care about rural Utah? You know, there aren't very many of you legislators, and we don't have that big of a population. Why? I live in Salt Lake City. Why would I care about rural Utah?" And I just simply replied to him, I can't think of any reason unless you care about where your food, your water, your energy, and your opportunities to recreate come from. There are no reasons to care about rural Utah. And of course, energy is just as important as any of those other things. And I think I got his attention there. But this idea of education matters as we continue to grow as a state. We are the fastest growing state in the nation, and that's something to be proud of. It also presents a series of challenges. We're almost always number one in birth rate. We're really good at it. It's one of the things that are most important here. And again, a challenge, but an opportunity. We're the youngest state in the nation because of that rapid birth rate. But we were also ninth in in-migration. That's a number that may surprise some people. When you put those two things together, that makes us the fastest growing state. And one of the reasons that people have come here for years are cheap energy prices. It's been good for commerce, it's been good for our economy, and it's certainly important for the things that we're trying to accomplish. There are pressures on that as we grow as a society. As those pressures come down with the use of fossil fuels as well, energy tends to get more expensive. And so we've got to find ways, again, to educate and work together. We are also the fastest growing economy in the country, which is something we should be very proud of. We've added more jobs per capita over the past 2 years than any other state in the nation. That's a really big deal. But it's led us to a problem. And the problem is right now that we have more jobs than we have people, especially in urban Utah. Now, in rural Utah, in many places, it's still flipped. We have more people than jobs. And so there's an opportunity. The governor announced last year that this initiative to create 25,000 jobs in rural Utah over the next 4 years. We've been working together with that. Dr. Nelson has taken the lead on that and believes that in the energy sector, we can create 8,000 jobs over the next 4 years as part of those 25,000 jobs. But all of this hinges on an educated workforce and on making sure our young people and our older people have an opportunity for an education, have an opportunity to become re-educated when their jobs go away. We're seeing that in coal country, unfortunately, far too often. But making sure that there's an alignment between workforce and the marketplace. And so, as Dr. Nelson already mentioned, we're very pleased to announce that we're focusing on equipping Utahns with quality energy education. We want to get this in every classroom, into higher ed, and into the public sphere as well. So her office, the Office of Energy Development, has launched its Energy and Minerals Education Initiative. And there are really 3 focuses on this. The first is the classroom, making sure that we have this interactive curriculum and videos available to young people so they understand where their energy comes from and how energy impacts our daily lives and why it's so critical in our economy and in everything else that we're trying to accomplish. The second piece of this is higher education, and we're very excited to be able to provide scholarships and grants for higher education, giving people, young people especially, an opportunity to go into these fields where they are desperately needed. And then the third one is to promote workforce development. We as these jobs change and evolve and get more complicated and complex, we heard a lot today about horizontal drilling, the need for more engineers, the changes that are happening in the workforce, making sure that we're able to get people trained and get them the education that they need to participate in the benefits of these economies. These are high-paying jobs, and we'll be able to bless the lives of families in rural Utah and in urban Utah alike for many years to come. So again, I just want to thank Dr. Nelson for her leadership, for her team's leadership in making this happen. It's an exciting time for us in Utah. And thanks to all of you who are also responsible, helping with the scholarships, helping to educate people, and making sure that we have the right workforce to continue to develop the energy resources that are so abundantly available here in Utah and that continue to bless the lives of families and make our economy hum. Thank you for what you're doing. It's a pleasure to be with you, and we're looking forward. We have some awards and some scholarships we're going to award now. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Lieutenant Governor Cox. As you can see, he is passionate about education. He's passionate about rural Utah. He's passionate about Utah overall, and we really appreciate his enthusiasm and our great work together and his leadership in helping our rising generation power our energy future through the education and workforce development that we are moving forward and advancing in significant ways. As, in fact, the Lieutenant Governor mentioned, our education initiative continues to grow beyond the K through 12, and it's really critical that we do that. In fact, we are very proud to partner with Chevron on a scholarship program for university students and those that are interested in CTE programs to further their understanding about our energy ecosystem and become part of that workforce of the future. So without further ado, I want to ask you all to join me in welcoming our key partner from Chevron, the refinery general manager, I should say, from the Chevron Salt Lake Refinery, Mitra Kanshanchi. She is going to present our second year of the Utah Energy Workforce Scholarship. Please join me in welcoming Mitra.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Secretary Nelson and Lieutenant Governor Cox. This is a great opportunity for us to be here. Chevron is proud to be a sponsor of the Governor Energy Summit. This is my second year here, and I'm really proud to be here. We have announced the recipients of the Energy Workforce Scholarships during the event in partnership with the Office of Energy Development. We expanded the program this year to include the students who plan to pursue an energy and mineral career by obtaining a vocational license, certificate, or skill training from a Utah Technical College. We need a workforce that has been educated in the trades as well as four-year degrees in the science, technology, engineering, and math fields. Students who participate in this program learn about the many different jobs that need to be filled in the energy industry and the diverse paths that can be taken to obtain those jobs. To compete for the Energy Workforce Scholarships, these students from across Utah submitted original essays and 5-minute videos about Utah's energy industry. The winners must commit to pursue a STEM-related certification or degree from a post-secondary institution. These 9 students stood out from the rest in the way they told the energy story from their own point of view. The 5 winners of 4,000 scholarships for a Utah University and college are Megan Humphreys, District 1, What is Electricity? Congratulations. Can I have a picture with me?
Yes.
Thank you. Let me see if I have the names. Yeah. Bryn Earthly, District 2, Energy. Ulysses Gayatro, District 3, Power Generation. Sarah Hibbs, District 4, Coal, the backbone of Utah's energy. Katie Oliverson, at Large Data Analytics in Electrical Utilities. The 4 winners of 2000 scholarship for Utah Technical College are from Emory High School. Jaden DeFay, Justin Gaimon, Drake Huffman, and Dylan Williams. Congratulations to all the students. I encourage you to take a few minutes to watch the videos they submitted on the OED website. You will immediately see their enthusiasm for the energy jobs available right here in Utah. Please join me in giving one more round of applause to congratulate our winners. Thank you.